What is going on, everybody? It is Lineman Life Live, the Wednesday Tiermaker. This week, we are in the Wildcard weekend. Playoffs have started in the NFL. Got urinating tree, 5 points videos. My man Justin Blaylock, former guard with the Atlanta Falcons. We are here to talk football. How's everybody doing this Wednesday?
Excellent, man.
Congrats, Justin. You got added to the logo.
I know. It's like I've arrived.
Your new logo? You know
I've arrived.
You're now officially part of the show.
Right.
Official tissue.
Like the microphone and shit was like step one. Now I'm on the logo.
Yeah, we took it through the probationary period. All right, you got to get your volume
days.
right on your mic.
We're doing big things over here, man.
That's all they do. They have the 3-month trial period, and then they just want to make sure they don't want to pay insurance for somebody.
Man, I used to work for a company, and the CEO was such a fucking dick. He would make us fire people on the 89th day. Like, he was such a fucking asshole.
I
hated that dude.
Yeah, they're not going to make it.
Uh-huh. He'd also make us fire them like on the 29th so that he didn't have to pay benefits the next month. Fucking asshole.
What is Office Space? Like, studies have shown there's less chance of an incident.
Yeah,
if you do somebody on Friday.
Yeah.
He won't go postal if you do it on the weekend.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a fucking dick.
Fucker, just go home and drink it off.
Yeah.
Or you go to a bar and deal with happy hour and then
Now, unfortunately for some coaches in the NFL, they were handed their pink slips on Monday, while one was handed his actually on Tuesday. He became the front page story of almost all the head coaching changes that were being made in the NFL. Joe Judge, the former head coach for the New York Giants, actually kind of talked himself out of having a position as a head coach, as they were going to let him live. They were going to let him live. No, he was not going to be sent to the executioner until he opened his big fat fucking Philly mouth. And now they turned around, and while they were walking out the door, the owners, the GM, the former GM, and they turned around and just told him, you know what, get the fuck out of here.
Well, he said he wanted some say in who the which I think, honestly, like, yeah, the head coach should match philosophies, but you just got out of a ticket. Like, don't, as the officer is walking away, don't be like, wow, took you long enough. Like, that's basically what he said. Like, once, and I think Twitter had a big hand in it. Like, I think once they saw, like, how much everybody hated this motherfucker, they were like, we can't let this guy coach. Because what if it doesn't work out, right? And he gave you no signs that it was going to work out. Like, he wasn't a good coach. He never displayed, like, at least Dan Campbell displayed things that shows that he's doing things like he beat the Packers, right? On a game that meant nothing. Like, that cost them the number 1 overall pick. They don't care. They're like, fuck it. You're showing heart. Like, you're showing out for this organization. Joe Judge was running sneaks on 3rd and 9.
They went back and watched that one more time. Like,
would it be ironic?
That sealed it.
Would it be ironic if they had him run wind sprints after he left the office and been fired?
Wow.
Man, it was the same shit like that cost Doug Peterson his job. And Doug Peterson had way more equity with the Eagles organization. He won a fucking Super Bowl.
Got a trophy.
Trophy
through the door.
For a franchise
first
that
trophy,
never won shit.
Remember correctly.
And that didn't get him nothing but pink slip because he gave up in that last game. And if you make a mockery of the NFL, owners don't like that.
They will destroy you if you make a mockery of the game.
Even though tactically what he did was the absolute right thing. I don't care what you say. That was the absolute right thing to pull everyone and get a higher draft pick. It ended up benefiting them this year, but it cost him his job.
At the end of the day, you aren't winning back that locker room if you pull that.
Especially
with a veteran locker room. No way.
Vets aren't going for that shit.
If it's like Carson Wentz, it's like, okay, like he's led us before, even though there's issues with him, apparently. You don't bring in Nate Sudfeld. Come on.
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, when we talk about dealing with these kind of situations, Joe Judge showed that he has a little bit of a sense of humor about himself when it comes to it. It says here, this TMZ Sports, they say Joe Judge needs beer and pizza after Giants firing gets massive order delivered to New Jersey home.
Hey, he's celebrating. He got a nice severance
He got
package.
a nice severance package.
Look at this fucking guy.
He's just like,
struggling.
I mean, dude, it's not even good beer. It's Coors Light and Michelob Ultra. What is he doing?
He'll probably come back battered to Bill Belichick, more loyal than ever, because that's how Belichick does it, right? Like they'll be like, "Fuck, I don't even know how good I had it,"
Right.
Coach Belichick.
I didn't know I had it good with you guys.
Hassel hasn't even taken away his Christmas decorations.
Come on.
Apparently, Belichick, when they called to ask about Joe Judge, they were like, "He's better than the last two guys you hired." And then the last two guys you hired were Pat Shurmur and Ben McAdoo. Like a fucking lawn ornament is better than fucking Pat Shurmur.
I don't know how you make Ben McAdoo look better, but somehow they
Oh my god.
Ben McAdoo at least made the playoffs.
Yeah, well, McAdoo had an 11-win season, and he got fired after the next year because he's just fucking didn't handle the Eli Manning benching properly.
John Mara got pissy. That's why he fired both him and Jerry Reese, and Jerry Reese won 2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
And it's just like, get the fuck out. That's all he said.
McAdoo was actually a decent offensive coordinator. Like, he should be coaching somewhere. Like, he's not an idiot.
I think he's like a quarterback coach he was a quarterback coach for the Packers.
He knows football.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good position to be in. But the craziest thing is,
let me take a look where he is now.
Bud Light only has 1 more calorie than Mick Ultra.
I mean,
but how does it taste so much better?
Like, dude, if you want to like beer, get the good shit. And it looks like Ben McAdoo's now a consultant for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Oh my god.
He's whispering to Dak.
Okay.
I thought he got a raw deal. I think in New York they take your words and twist them and make you seem dumber than you actually are.
Mm-hmm. He had a vendetta against Eli, and I think that kind of like pissed off a lot of people because Eli wasn't really the big problem on that team. There were a lot of other issues that were bubbling underneath the Giants.
If you ask anyone though, in that last couple of years, Eli was pretty bad.
He was bad, dude. But I mean,
you still don't bench a guy like that.
Yeah, you don't.
I mean, you still don't bench him.
Yeah, I mean, like
for
2018, 2019, Eli, that was bad. And then
so we can get some of the juicy details on his little post-firing shindig. Yeah. Says, forget ice cream and movies. Joe Judge is getting over his New York Giants breakup with beer and pizza and a whole hell of a lot of it. The former G-Men head coach, who was canned on Tuesday following 2 abysmal seasons with the team, ordered a boatload of za and suds to his New Jersey home on Wednesday, presumably to help drown out his newfound sorrows. Pictures obtained by TMZ Sports showed the newly unemployed 40-year-old. Damn, he's only 40?
Yeah, that's why.
3 years older than me.
Shit.
Why are we hiring this dude? Like, he was not ready. Like,
because you saw Bill Belichick and you wanted a piece of that pie. It's like every other team that hires a Belichick assistant.
Yeah.
Showed the newly unemployed 40-year-old had 9 boxes of pizza as well as several cases of Michelob Ultra and Coors Light delivered to his place. We also told Judge had flowers arrive on his doorstep as well.
Dude, 9 boxes of pizza? Dude, what is he doing? Is he trying to do the ending of Dodgeball where the dude from the Globo Gym just gets really fat by just eating buckets of ice cream? Is that what he's gonna do?
Is he going for my 600-pound life?
Like stupid ass reporters.
Is that what stuff in his face the whole week?
I couldn't even take out 9 boxes of pizza.
I don't think anybody could, unless he's like
real. I mean, the 9 boxes of pizza is kind of weird.
He must have like a family of 30 or something.
Yeah, that's
over
my
there.
guess. Like he had.
Well, it says here, no word yet on if anyone is joining Judge in the pity party, or if the massive amounts of food and booze are strictly for Judge.
Well, I would assume all those ex-players that want to come back to the Giants are going to be there, right? You know,
well, I mean, Mike Glennon will probably invite him. I mean, he gave him another job. Maybe Jake Fromm will join him.
Yeah, Fromm will join him. Belichick will swing on by.
A couple practice squad guys.
Belichick will come by and hang out for a minute.
I'm sorry, buddy. He'll make him feel good. He's like, you are
Judge had a brutal 2-year stretch as head man of the Giants, going 10-23, and things got so bad. New York co-owner John Mara said Wednesday this year was his lowest moment with the team. If it doesn't get much rougher than this to start off the new year, here's hoping the beer and buzz and pizza food coma help out. So yeah, I guess we know how he spent his Wednesday. Smashing on some pizza, some day old pizza, I guess.
Who said it was not stopping yet, man? That's enough beer to last you weeks, months.
Yeah, he'll be drinking that for a while.
I mean, I know it's probably easier to pound Bud Light and Coors Light than a regular beer, but still.
He went from how much does a special teams coordinator make? Like maybe 6 figures,
they probably. I mean, they all make
six
six figures. I think they all make 6 figures. It's just like what level,
200.
Right?
So he went from that to making $1 million, $2 million salary, and now he's probably going to get what 4/5 of what he's owed.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you go out, he made it 2 years out of a 5-year deal. He probably gets the next 2 comp.
How much was he getting per year?
I don't know. Maybe $3 million, something. Head coach is
that seems pretty low for a head coach in the NFL.
Let's take a look.
First time,
I would think head coaches would start at around 5.
It looks up January 2020 is not among the league's highest paid. It says he will receive slightly over $5 million per year.
Yeah,
so $5 million. So he's getting paid. That's why he shouldn't really feel bad for coaches.
See, if I feel bad for his ass at all.
So he's gonna clear what $20 million for getting fired?
Yeah, I mean, even if it is northern New Jersey and it's pricey there, I mean,
right. If I had $20 million in the bank, all I would do is start an OnlyFans, and then I would just live off of that. I'd pay my expenses off the OnlyFans money.
Can I be fired from YouTube and get a severance package of $25 million? I'll take
it. Dude,
where's my sick leave?
Mike Mularkey made off with the greatest fucking heist of all time. Well, before Urban Meyer came. Mike Mularkey got a 4-year deal guaranteed. 4-year deal, and he only got through 1 season. That motherfucker bought a house on the beach. I seen that cat walking his dog with his wife on the beach one day after that season. I was like, I damn near pulled over like, hey, motherfucker!
Fuck you!
But I mean, isn't that the dream? Even for players.
That was the dream, though. That was definitely the dream.
Player can only do it. Players can only do it one time.
Right. That's what Dion did at the end of his career when he signed with Washington. He signed like a guaranteed $33 million contract and then just got cut like the next year or something.
Albert Hainsworth, man.
Hainsworth got
Albert
paid.
Hainsworth literally laid on the field before our very eyes. Just let us know he didn't give a fuck.
He was like, fuck y'all. Yeah, that play where he's lying on the field and Vince Jones walked right by him.
He was just laying there like this, looking at the play.
You think Mike Glennon cares? He made $18.5 million guaranteed from the Bears for I
wouldn't care. Yeah, I wouldn't care neither.
Dude, if you have $20 million in the bank, you could just live off the interest.
Exactly.
After you buy your house, the interest will pay
invest it wisely. Go in like a SEP IRA and a 401k. Maybe life insurance, and then we'll live off the dividends of that.
Yeah,
there you
really
go.
Don't have to do shit ever again.
Fuck around, play the market with a couple thousand. Fuck around, buy some crypto, get a little
buy NFTs and bullshit.
Yep, buy a monkey NFT
that don't mean nothing.
I prefer stocks, maybe some options if you're that bold, but too risky.
Now, also, unfortunately, I have to talk about this son of a bitch. But on the other side of this head coaching situation, of course, we have the Duval Jaguars. And the story that's coming out now, the big story, I guess, the update, if you will, that's coming out now, is that they are going to be interviewing Alabama offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien tomorrow after his embarrassing play calling in the national championship game against the Georgia Bulldogs.
But you didn't run, pass every single set? Really?
Run, pass.
He's revolutionary, man.
Pass.
He made the worst trade in NFL's recent history. How can you
I would say the only thing worse than the trade he made with DeAndre Hopkins was the only trade in NFL history that was worse than that was the Saints giving away their entire draft for Ricky Williams.
Yeah. Well, the Mitch Trubisky trade, I'd throw that up.
Or the Herschel Walker trade.
Yeah. The Herschel Walker trade was bad too.
Mm-hmm.
But this is definitely in the top 3. You give up the guy who is undoubtedly at the time the best receiver in the NFL for nothing, for a washed running back
for a dude with a huge contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, even worse.
and a huge contract on top of that.
And even
For
worse,
somebody
you
didn't
trade
want
a
to give any
second for
money to.
Brandon Cooks like a
Yeah.
month after.
And Brandon Cooks is a stud, too. Like,
I mean, this is like if there is one. I mean, if you look at all of the Belichick tree coaches, assistants who have come out over the years, and you catalog all of their failures, Bill O'Brien, even as someone who maybe technically didn't have the worst record as a coach, can easily be put atop that mountain, that hill of the worst of all of the Belichick assistants.
I'd say Matt
Simply
Patricia.
because he single-handedly, in less than 6 months, in one summer's eve, destroyed a franchise
And it's funny
to
because
the point where it's unrecognizable, where they're in such disarray. There was such a mockery of a professional team. But of course, there was one team that said, "Hold my fucking beer," and it was the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now,
I think Shad Khan is trolling. He's like, "Oh, call me a clown? I'm gonna fucking hire Bill O'Brien. See, fuck y'all. Wear your clown makeup.
if he wants to watch TIAA Bank Field burn to ashes,
I think he's
Don't do
interviewing him so that
Maybe-
y'all will accept somebody like lesser. He's like, well, at least he's not Bill O'Brien.
maybe
You
he's
know?
planning
Like,
it so he can make the move to London. Maybe he has an insurance policy on the stadium, so he's hoping you burn it. That's why he's saying,
yeah, but he
"Oh,
doesn't
you know
have
what?
a stadium
We're
in London to
interviewing for
move
Bill
to
O'Brien."
because they threw a monkey wrench in his Wembley Stadium deal, wouldn't let him have it. He
Yeah.
got pissed about that.
Well, it's because Fulham sucks. That's why.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, and his soccer team sucks. But no, his soccer team got a new facility. They got a new
Really?
stadium,
Yeah,
and it looks freaking sweet.
for
Woo!
Champions League.
Champions League.
But
Yeah,
let's
I
run
think
through
the
this real
move is
quick.
give Flores whatever he wants. I think he's the right guy.
That's what I'm
for
saying. He's the right
Jacksonville.
guy. It's not. People are talking about. Okay, this is my thing, and Jags fans, hear me out here, and a lot of you agree with me in this. It's not about getting somebody. I mean, look, the goal is to absolutely grow Trevor Lawrence, but you grow Trevor Lawrence with his quarterback coach. You don't need to grow him with a head coach. The head coach is not responsible for growing him. Head coach is responsible for growing the team.
Yeah,
So
look at Belichick and
Brian
Brady.
Flores,
Look, QB coach.
for the situation that these Jaguars are in, Brian Flores is a perfect hire. And it's a hire that you make regardless of cost or who you have to fire, wink, wink, Balky, to get it done. Because this is a guy who we have witnessed turn a team with little to no true talent on the roster into a contender for the postseason, into a competitive franchise. 2 seasons which he had a winning record, and in one season he literally started. He literally hustled it. It was literally hustled backwards at the beginning with a 1-7 start, and he turned that around
to a winning
Like,
season.
that
I
is
think
what
is
you're
that
looking
like
for.
unprecedented?
Yep.
It's
don't think anyone's
it's
ever done
nearly.
that.
I think it's nearly. Yeah, I think it's either unprecedented or it is like it is very close to something that's never happened before in the league.
I think it is the first time where somebody's lost 7 straight and won 7 straight. I
Yeah, it
know
was
that.
definitely a first for that. I don't know if it's the first time that someone went from
1-7
that
to
shitty to
winning
a
record.
good record.
Yeah,
Maybe they lost 1 or 2 in the mix, but they just rattled all those off in a row.
Yeah.
And and that's even makes it even that much more impressive. But the fact of the matter is, you are in a situation where you have a roster that needs to be maximized, and it's not a roster that necessarily anyone is going to expect to provide a competitive outlook on the near future. But he is someone who has proven to be able to do that with a roster that doesn't have the kind of talent that you actually want, in the long run. This is a perfect situation to get somebody who can do exactly what you need them to do to the franchise, to get it competitive from a non-competitive standpoint to a competitive standpoint in a hurry. He's done that. He did that immediately in Miami. And this is the most successful of the Belichick tree that you will see anywhere.
yeah.
He is the most successful. So if you're
was he
trying
a
to
DC?
emulate anything that Bill Belichick has done, this is the closest thing you have to it right now in the NFL.
Yeah, he was the DC.
Yeah. So he's a defensive-minded coach.
Mhm.
has a relationship with Deshaun. See, that's the one thing that could derail Jacksonville is that maybe a team wants a trade for Deshaun and Brian Flores as the head coach. Like,
I don't know if
take
that's
some
gonna
maneuvering, but some teams.
Yeah,
could.
well, you know, the whole situation with Deshaun Watson is somewhat of a pipe dream for a lot of teams right now because you
still don't know.
You still don't know what's going to happen with his situation. You don't know how the NFL is going to react to his situation because the NFL hasn't done anything yet. Does not mean the NFL is not going to do anything.
It's true.
The NFL will do something.
It smells like Michael Vick all over again, but it's a lot worse to sexually assault someone than it is to. I mean, obviously, me as a dog lover, like I feel that that's pretty awful, killing a dog, but it's still worse than. Or sexual assault is still worse than killing.
Yeah, it's still a couple of leagues ahead of that.
Yeah, I'd say
you
so.
know. So, you know, just kind of go through this real quick. Says Jacksonville Jaguars will interview Alabama offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien on Wednesday for their head coaching vacancy, according to NFL's Ian Rappaport. Now, I'm hearing that Ian Rappaport is boys with Balky, and that's why this is kind of being pushed out there, kind of shilled out there as, oh, this is a good thing. But I would say to that, Ian Rappaport, watch your fucking mouth. You're fucking with Duval now. You're fucking with us. This is O'Brien's first year in his current job. Before joining the Crimson Tide, he went 52-48 in 7 years with head coach of the Texans. 52-48, yes, it's positive, but let's be real. He's only 4 games above 500. If you're looking for a coach who's like got a winning ways, whatever. He's
he is
fine,
the win. I think he is the winningest coach in Texans history. So, I mean, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Whatever that means, exactly. I don't really know what that means.
I'd say Kubiak was a better coach, but that's just me.
Yeah, Kubiak won a Super Bowl.
Kubiak actually set that roster up. That was the most talented roster they've ever had was under Kubiak.
Yeah,
definitely under Kubiak, right? Because I played against those teams. They were fucking good.
Yeah.
Houston fired O'Brien partway through the 2020 season following an 0-4 start. He dug his own grave in large part because of personnel moves he executed as Texas' primary decision maker. By the time he left, the franchise was a disaster. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah.
For me to say, fuck him.
Yeah, he Petrino'd that place.
I don't give a damn. That's all I need to hear. When he left, it was a disaster. No, then we don't want him. Yeah, I don't need a guy who has the word disaster associated with his name coming and bringing that shit to what's already a disaster to try and make it not a disaster.
Yeah, it's like you hear some girl that dated one of your boys and set his house on fire. Now you want to date her. What are you, fucking stupid?
Yeah, but she got him flowers on his birthday though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker, she burnt his house down.
They used to go to strip clubs together and shit, right? Yeah, okay. You knew she was crazy though, right? You knew.
Yeah.
You knew she was crazy.
The organization's problems weren't solely on O'Brien though, and the Jaguars brass might think he can be effective if his duties are limited to coaching. But we know when you try to control a disaster, a lot of times you only make it worse.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's the problem here. That's a problem. That's the risk that a lot of Jag fans just don't want with Bill O'Brien is we don't want to risk this guy creating a situation that brings us back to a point of no return where we're literally on the edge of just collapse again because of him.
The thing is, like, what's the upside to bringing in Bill O'Brien? Like, there's none. There's no if you're gonna hire somebody, hire them on potential, right? At this point,
we know what this guy is.
I do have
an
upside though. I do have an upside. What? He gets in a power struggle with Trent Baalke and fires him. But the downside is he becomes your GM and trades Trevor Lawrence for
a sack of potatoes,
running
a fifth
back
round and a fifth and a seventh.
A top-loading washing machine.
Yes.
You don't want one of the side loaders. Those kind of smell after a while.
But clearly, I mean, once someone's been at that level, I mean, it's hard to go back, to being the head coach and no personnel decisions now.
Dude, when you are as notorious,
they're gonna fucking clash. I mean,
you're as notorious as this guy is. He is notorious. That like he had to go to college football. That's how bad it was. It's like, bro, get the fuck out of the NFL.
Yeah, but that's how Saban beat. Saban is like
that's the rehab clinic.
Yeah, Saban is like
coach's rehab clinic.
Lane Kiffin.
Coach's rehab.
You go down to Alabama for a year or two, and then you're back.
Get you a couple of natties. Get you a couple of offensive awards.
There you go.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin was fixed by Nick Saban. You know, he's got his own little gig at Ole Miss now. You know, so, who knows, man?
I don't know, man.
I
don't know. I don't. I mean, look. I mean, those guys got natties out there. This cat didn't get no natty.
That's true. That's true.
He lost the natty.
Yeah,
you knew he was going to lose, though. You knew
I mean, we all sat here and said, "Ain't no damn way. Ain't no fucking way."
That's true.
And them cats beat the shit out of Alabama.
Yeah, Georgia showed out.
Showed out
for sure.
Stetson Bennett the fourth.
The fourth.
Yeah. The fourth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Based on how his Texans tenure ended, the 52-year-old might be a tough sell for a fan base that has already grown disenchanted after learning Trent Baalke is staying on as general manager. And for those of you who don't believe it, here is evidence.
great.
Jacksonville is crazy. I know that shit. That's Florida man personified. Is Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Florida man plus
Florida
a Navy
man.
base.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
You're
northern
getting a lot
Florida
of
man. That's Georgia man came down a little bit south, down to Florida.
That's South Georgia, South Georgia man.
Yeah.
It's all the California kids going to Tijuana to party. That's pretty much what Jacksonville is.
So, I mean, as you can see, the movement started with Colts, and it won't end if Trent Baalke is there for extended time, which it looks like he will be.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, with Bill O'Brien, that combination would just be – that would be a combination that I think would drive a lot of people up the fucking wall.
It'd be hilarious, dude. I would love it just for the memes.
Now, look,
Okay.
if y'all go out and win 9 games next year, do y'all kind of back off of Trent Baalke?
No, fuck that shit. Baalke's look, we know what the inevitable is going to bring. That's the problem here. We've seen it. The first draft that he got, he was given the opportunity to prove his worth with this first draft with the Jaguars. The first pick doesn't matter because everyone knew that was the first pick, and there was anybody. You can't fuck up that first pick. There's no way. Everybody knew you were going for Trevor Lawrence. That was just a given.
Sometimes you take Sam Walton.
But it was all the rest of the picks that were just like, well, I don't even know who the fuck they were other than Travis Etienne. That's the only one I know. I don't know any other picks.
You didn't need. You didn't need him.
And you already had a back.
And we didn't even need Travis Etienne. And now he's done. He has a Liz Frank. He'll never be the same. Yeah. He will never reach his full potential. And that's just some further proof that you picked the wrong people. And then it wasn't even the guy you wanted to pick. So you don't even know what you want. You picked you picked bad. You picked someone you didn't even want. And at the end of the day, you lose the one you picked. The one you didn't want, he ain't shit neither. Or the one that you wanted, he ain't shit neither. And this entire draft class will be gone within 2 to 3 years. Yeah. And no one will know any different because that's how bad general managers pick their players. They're guys that you won't remember or know of before the end of their first contract.
Here's the thing. I think Lawrence is going to mask a lot of those problems. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to win some games next year. I'd be surprised at a quarterback as good as Trevor Lawrence not winning 7-8 games. I honestly, he looked good against the Colts, man. He's showing you what he could be, and he's going to mask a lot of problems. He's figuring. That's the other thing, with a rookie quarterback. Not only do they have to, they have to have personnel in front of them, but they can take care of a lot on their own. And
he started figuring things out, and he started looking. He looked confident against the Colts, but again, that he's not necessarily what I'm worried about in the immediate. What I'm worried about in the immediate is who is going to create the culture there. That's what the immediate issue is a problem. Miles Jack said it himself last week when they talked to him. He said, we need a leader of men. That is what the players are looking for. We don't have a leader.
Man. Oh, yeah, we got a quarterback in Pittsburgh you can take.
Well, Bill O'Brien,
we need a leader of men. We need somebody that we can respect, somebody that actually leads through example. Bill O'Brien, I don't see Bill O'Brien as a guy who actually can instill a culture. I think he's a guy who takes over at head coach for a team that already has kind of a culture in place. They've got their talent in place. They just need more scheming and a little bit more to help push them over that final obstacle. I don't think he's the guy you bring in to start a program, because that's what this is. You're starting a program, and that's the problem. But here's a little overview of Trevor Lawrence in the 2021 season: 3,641 yards, 12 touchdowns, and NFL high 17 interceptions. Which really, that's not terrible. I mean, that's
all the greats. Troy Aikman's rookie year. Peyton Manning had a terrible rookie year. Like that.
I mean, Peyton Manning threw like 31 picks in his rookie year.
Yeah, that's on par for a guy that's learning the game.
Yeah, and you're trying to make
games.
You're trying to make everything happen yourself.
Yeah.
I think that Trevor Lawrence showed a good amount of poise throughout the season. I think he showed a good amount. There was only a few games where I thought he was trying to force things, and he threw like 4 picks in each of those. But for the most part, he's been pretty good in just kind of showing his natural football skill. Yeah. Now, as the season goes on, you want to see him begin to kind of pull that together with the game plan and start to manipulate the scheme a little bit. But there were games, dude, where I watched and he had receivers drop like 9 passes in the game. They like literal drops, legitimate drops. These were not, balls that were too high, balls that were too low. These were balls that were on the money and guys just dropped them.
Yeah.
So that was a big issue there. Now, the rest of this, it says, to O'Brien's credit, he specializes in offense, particularly the quarterback position. Deshaun Watson reached 3 straight Pro Bowls under his watch. Matt McGloin and Christian Hackensberg.
But how much of Deshaun Watson was Bill O'Brien?
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's not something that you attribute to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's not the guy who made the Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was going to be that. That's just what he was going to be.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of saw that coming.
A lot of the wins Houston had were in spite of Bill O'Brien. That win against the Wildcard game, that was Josh Allen. That's why they lost that game, not because of Bill O'Brien.
Exactly. A lot of it was in spite of him. A lot of it, I mean, did you see Deshaun Watson's last season? I mean, dude was just like...
He was balling.
He was making plays out of absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that team imploded.
That's the thing. Whenever Deshaun Watson comes back, which, I mean, it's perfectly possible.
Yep.
He's going to be wowing people again. But it's going to feel dirty. Like whoever whatever.
It'll feel dirty for like the first three games.
Yeah, until he throws like a 40-yard bomb.
You can come to the Steelers. We know something about quarterbacks with sexual assault cases. So we'll take
I just think that he needs to be like definitively cleared before he can resume his career.
Yeah, I think there has to be some kind of conclusion, and that is the risk that no team seems to be willing to really take when it comes to Deshaun Watson, because you don't know, and we know, and those of us who know how the NFL handles these things, even though he did not play this season, he didn't play because he stated he would not play, and there was nothing that the Houston Texans could do about that.
And they still play.
Yeah. But when this is resolved, when this reaches a resolution, this whole situation with these lawsuits, the NFL will then impose a punitive reaction, which might be a season.
Could be.
Like, you're not playing this season. And then for everything that team that got him on however many picks you gave up, however many players you gave up, now you're sitting behind the 8 ball. That coach who did that is sitting behind an 8 ball because you got this guy again who ain't playing, and you ain't really got nobody to replace him.
I think his lawyers are trying to settle, but they want it to be written where he's not like admitting any type of guilt. Like that's how.
What I heard it was an NDA situation, right? There was 4. He doesn't want an NDA.
He wants to be able to tell his.
He wants to be able to talk about it. Oh, because what a lot of people seem to have missed is that the FBI started going after some of these women for extortion, which could prove that maybe there was a little bit of a pile on here. Yeah. And it wasn't him doing this or that. Or maybe they did it willingly. There were text messages that came out from women who did it willingly and then apologized to him after the fact.
Or it destroys the credibility of the prosecution if that's the case.
Yeah.
Well, that's why there's no criminal charges.
And that's why there's no criminal charges, because from what they had gathered, a lot of these women because he was laying there naked, they went ahead and started stroking him off themselves. Just like, hey, this feels good, right?
Which is also believable. That's what's crazy about this. Like, hey, he's a good-looking guy. Like, he's
a handsome guy. Yeah. He's a young guy. He's like, I mean, come on. His face is everywhere in Houston, Texas.
He's filthy fucking rich. I mean,
filthy rich.
Let's be serious.
And you got personal access to him. Yes. I mean, come on, man. You can go to the moose shoe shop and get you the same kind of treatment. You know what I mean? Like,
but if you, I know Robert Kraft. See, you have to have power like Robert Kraft to be able to get out of shit like that. This motherfucker Robert Kraft was on tape. He got them to block that shit. He was like, you cannot admit that in court. You're gonna drop the charges on me. He's like, y'all fucking around with the wrong dude.
He was like, how he got that all to drop, right? He donated fucking buku money to the police department's pension fund.
But he probably went Pablo Escobar, silver or lead. He was like, all right, you're gonna accept this donation.
Silver or lead.
He was like plato o plomo. He was like, all right, you're gonna accept this donation. You're gonna be happy. I'm gonna fund your police department. Either that, or you're gonna be hiring 20 new officers next year because I'm gonna bury them all in a swamp. And don't think that
with their families.
Yes. Don't think Robert Kraft can't pull that shit off.
Look, you can either take all this anti-riot gear that I'm pointing at your police officers, or we'll start firing.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right. You can either use it when you need it, or use it on me, like, or it'll be
either use it or lose it, because one way or another, I'm walking out them doors. We'll
even throw in a margarita machine.
He probably had shit on judges. He probably had shit on the fucking governor. He was like, look, Governor DeSantis, if you want to get reelected,
I got pictures I want to show you real quick here.
Yeah. This is your kid getting a hand job too. In this fucking
behind the stadium.
Right. Motherfucker, we were there together.
Motherfucker, you were 2 rooms down. You think I didn't know?
Right. This is Romeo and Juliet. She's 17, he's 19. That's
right. You don't get to be that powerful without stabbing a motherfucker in the back. Okay.
Oh, you know it.
Or keeping a hold card for when it's time.
You know it. Got a $5 super chat here from Charlie. Charlie says, Aaron Rodgers killing 2 careers in less than a week. Now, so I know that. What did Aaron Rodgers say? Something
is that
about Joe Judge?
Guy. Oh yeah, he said like if Matt LaFleur tries doing a 3rd and 9, like he should try it. He's gonna audible out of it.
Yeah. But Jake Fromm had no leverage there. Like Jake Fromm is like, oh, I got to do whatever. Like he's trying to make a roster.
Yeah, got to be a company guy.
Line. Yeah.
I mean, he has no choice. Like if he defies it, like even if it's like a 20-yard game, he's getting cut.
Yeah, Eli Manning would be like, what the fuck did you just call?
I just call a timeout.
Dude, I think even Mike Glennon would do that.
Yeah, Mike Glennon. He's like, look, I've got $38 million in the bank. I don't need this.
You can't be serious here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Another one's from Saudi98 for $4.99. He says Bill O'Brien would empty out TIAA faster than an Ebola outbreak. Yeah, and I believe that too. Bill O'Brien is the head coach. I'm telling you, the Jaguars don't even understand how many season tickets they're not gonna sell if he's the head coach.
I don't think it's serious. I don't think it's real. I don't see how he fits. Like, I don't see how you interview Bill O'Brien and he wows you like he makes.
Yeah, you're the guy that's going to take Trevor Lawrence to the next level and give us the best chance of getting a trophy.
I think it's just setting the bar really low, so you'll take whatever comes next.
Yeah, that's what they're like. All right, let's interview Bill O'Brien, scare the fuck out of the fan base, and then we'll bring in something like
they'll be fucking excited when I hire.
Yeah, or another Patriot assistant.
Whatever slapdick they
bring in Josh McDaniels.
Yeah,
he'll know what he's doing.
I can tell you that one of the Jacksonville, one of the Jaguars like main news guys put a tweet out, and I responded to it, and he quoted my tweet. He was saying, "Look, man, don't worry," because I was like, "Hey, you all hire these motherfuckers, I'm done," and that was it. Said, "Y'all hire him, I'm done." And he was like, don't worry. I'm like, I better not have to fucking worry.
Yeah,
y'all motherfuckers gonna have to stop. Y'all gonna stop sending me shit to come to games. I'm not coming. I'm not doing shit no more. Fuck y'all. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we'll see what retread they get.
Ahead.
Yeah.
Let's pivot this thing over to the NFL playoffs because Wildcard weekend is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. It is here.
Oh, hallelujah.
Almost. Let me pull this screen up. Now, we got our own little NFL playoff bracket here that we're going to run through. So it's an interactive bracket here. We've got the seedings. We're going to go through this wild card round. We're going to pick our winners. Obviously, in the AFC, you've got Tennessee at the number 1 seed, Green Bay at the number 1 seed in the NFC. And this thing is going to break down all the way to our championship rounds.
Wow.
But
we're going to lock
this week, well, you know what? We can do two ways here. We can predict this first wild card weekend, and then we can carry it over. And next week we can go into the divisional and then, the finals. Or we can run all the way to the Super Bowl in this one.
I think we should do it new every week because we're going to fuck up either way.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to
That shit's going to be way off.
Last week, I swore that the Colts would beat the Jaguars and that we would not be seeing Pittsburgh in this bracket.
I have no idea how they're in it either. Don't ask me.
Who was wrong?
This team sucks. Yet they're somehow in it. I don't know.
I will say in my fucking defense that I said if there's one place where we can pull this shit off, it's in Duval.
That's true.
If we were in Indy, it might be a done deal. But in Duval, even though I didn't pick them, I felt like, hey, if they can get it done, it's here. And they did it. They did it convincingly. They blew them motherfuckers out the goddamn water. So, with all that being said, let's take a look at this first matchup in the AFC. We're going to start with the AFC here, and then we'll move over into the we'll go through the AFC, then the NFC. So, first matchup here, we got the Raiders at the Bengals. 4:30 on the 15th. The Bengals are minus 225.
It's Saturday, right?
Do the Raiders continue this Cinderella story? Maybe might be fueled by John Madden, the ghost of John Madden past himself.
I think the luck runs out here because Bengals are playing really well. Jamar Chase is unstoppable. The Bengals are playing their best football. They're the hottest team right now, I think. And remember, Oakland Las Vegas, whatever the fuck you call it. They got in beating a rival, right? Like that's the game that you have the best chance to win. Yeah. They've dodged every bullet. They are the Steelers of the West, but I think the run ends now. I think and Cincy at home too. Tough task.
Cincinnati hasn't had a home playoff game in a while.
I think either team is breaking a massive playoff drought if they win. I think the Raiders haven't won since 04 or something like that.
Wow.
Something.
Cincy's do. They have.
I know Cincy hasn't won in over 30 years.
The Raiders haven't been since I believe Jack Del Rio was their head coach.
They haven't been there since 2016. That was the year they lost both their quarterbacks and had to start Connor Cook.
Plus, you got a rookie head coach, Bisaccia, guy that's a special teams coach. Not saying that he hasn't done a great job or that he doesn't deserve the head coaching job. It's his first time coaching a team in the playoffs. I know what's his name, King. Who's the coach on
Kingsbury?
Yeah. No.
So the Bengals, Zach Taylor.
Taylor's also kind of a sus coach as well, but I would give the edge to Cincy here all day for me. But of course,
Taylor isn't losing his job for 5 years after this.
The Colts would beat the Jags, so take nothing I say with any type of period.
With a grain of salt. Yeah.
Right. What you think, Tree? What's your prediction on this?
Dude, I feel like the Bengals should win this easily. I can see the Raiders pulling off some bullshit. But I think this truly is it. I think Jamar Chase is too deadly. I don't know if Nate Hobbs or Casey Haywart's going to be able to cover him. They'll probably have to double. They still have T. Higgins and Tyler
That's
Boyd.
The thing. Burrow, if you double up Chase, or triple him or double him. Like Burrow's gonna find the open dude. That dude is a stud.
He
That dude's
is.
ready.
I mean, he decimated the Steelers both times they played him. I think it'll be close, but I think the Bengals pull it out in the end.
All right, so we got 2 on Bengals. What you thinking, Justin?
I gotta agree. The Burrow to Chase the last month or so has been bananas. I agree with the guys. I don't see the way they can stop that, for 60 minutes.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going with these fucking Raiders because John Madden is fueling this shit, baby. It's the
I can
ghost
see
of
it.
John Madden. He's fueling this. These boys have made shit happen all year long. They proved us wrong time after time after time. We've been waiting on the wheels to fall off all damn season.
I mean, I'd love to see
They
it.
fell off.
A whole lot
I
of
can
you.
see it. I mean, the
They
Bengals,
lost
that'll be more
their
fun.
head coach. They lost their top draft pick. They lost another
It's a murder.
somewhat contributor
They
on
lost
defense.
2 first-round picks.
Yeah,
Those are
2
2 first-round
They
picks.
lost multiple players. They had no reason to even have anything close to a winning record, and no one would have blamed them. Hey, you know what? 1,
Yeah,
y'all are the Raiders.
could have
2,
easily
y'all are
mailed
the
it in.
Raiders. This shit happens. It's okay.
All right,
Just
fair
let
enough.
the whole season
Fair
flush down, and we'll start again fresh next year and act like we got a chance.
You made your case. Yes.
I said I
They
can see the
battled
Raiders
their way
winning this.
forward. Now, I will go ahead and say, it's majority rule here. We're a democracy to a certain extent on this show. So yes, I will say that the Bengals have that. They got that. They got that from the group, coming together and voting on it. But I'm going to wedge against this and say that the Raiders will come out on top of this.
I mean, if they can pull out
They will
some
come out on top.
annexation of Puerto Rico, like you said, the ghost of Madden, it'll be a magical.
Ghost of Madden Pass.
The ghost
is
of
gonna
Madden.
run his magic. It's gonna be like boom.
We should go up here and turn
All
left.
right.
And I'm in the end zone. Love to see
Next
it, but
up,
wouldn't bet on
This
it.
game is the rubber match of what has become a heated and bitter rivalry. Patriots at Buffalo. Buffalo is minus 200 in this matchup. The Patriots are at one point the hottest team in the NFL. They were beating teams in many different ways that you wouldn't expect. And in their first meeting with Buffalo, total of 3 passes the entire game, and they came away with the win. Now, Buffalo comes back, serves them back up in the rematch, and of course, the rubber match must take place. The third and final meeting between 2 teams vying for complete control over the AFC, AFC East?
Yep.
So now we got these 2 rivals lined up again. What you guys thinking? Let's start off with Justin. What you think about this matchup?
I like New England here. I think the Bills are just too dependent on one guy. Great as he is, Belichick's shown over the years that he can, when the money's on the line, take away your best option and make something else beat him. And I'm not sure they got enough something else.
Fair enough.
They haven't shown it yet. I mean, if you let
that
the
is something
quarterback
I can agree
throw 50
with.
times and run 20 more times, I'm not sure who else can shoulder that load.
They better hope it's windy. That's all I got there. Better hope it's windy.
What you think, Five? What you got on this one? I think this
Listen.
one is intriguing matchup.
My head agrees with Justin. Like, that's the assessment. Like, Bill Belichick will always pull out the stops. He'll always make it close. Like, you're not going to just blow the doors off of Bill Belichick. Like, that just don't happen, right? He's always got a game plan. But it's not the matchup that I'm using to call this game. I'm using the year, okay? Georgia went out and beat Alabama. Nick Saban fell to his understudy. This could be the year that Sean McDermott gets over the hump, that Josh Allen proves that he's an elite quarterback. It's time to put up or shut up. Bills fans are going to go crazy. They're going to be fucking in the parking lot if they get a win here. I think it's the Bills' time.
Parking lot, the stadium.
Stadium. In the stadium. They're gonna pull a fucking Kodak Black at a hockey
They're
game.
gonna pull the Kodak Black out.
Yep.
Just be up in the fucking
In the owner's suite.
No, they'll be doing
suite.
it on the field if that's the case. Like it'll be in like the midfield logo instead of Juju doing the TikTok. It's like a couple like couples just doing it like doggy style. The
With the
horizontal
dildo
face.
out there.
That's what's gonna happen.
Uh-huh. Somebody gonna throw dildos out there for you.
Like there's gonna be like
as a prop.
sneaky little hands like going underneath the code and like people leaning on railings like this. Like, stuffed in the
Gonna be
back.
out in the open.
That's what's gonna happen. While they're just like on their phone, like yeah. Ooh.
All right, what you thinking, Tree? Who you got in this one?
Guarantee me that New England's offense gets its shit together. I say they win. Because I think like that's been their struggle. They've lost 3 or 4.
Yeah, I
Their
don't love
offense has
Mac.
been very iffy. Mac Jones has looked a lot more like a rookie these past few weeks. I mean, to be fair, it was Miami last week. It's kryptonite down there, but I mean, their only really time they looked convincing was against Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's
And
my biggest
Jacksonville
thing.
was like that's going to be the holdback. I mean, Buffalo has a really strong defense. They made Zach Wilson's life a nightmare, even though a lot of teams have. And you could say that, okay, they don't have Tre'Davious White. They lose their lockdown receiver, but Patriots don't have a true number 1 receiver. Like, who's your best? Like Kendrick Bourne? I wouldn't call him a number 1.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it's going to be close. I think Buffalo edges them out just barely.
Yeah, you got to make Mac beat you.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah,
That's what McDermott's gonna beat
I
you.
think there's 2 schools of thought on this. I think, like you said, we're talking about Bill Belichick in the playoffs. I think that carries a lot of weight. I think there's a lot of teams who would not put their money against him. A lot of people would say that, hey, if he gets into the playoffs, it's one thing if they, last year they weren't in it. But this year, he's in the playoffs. It's hard not to look at the Patriots and be like, please, God, not again.
Let them die. Just kill all the wild cards.
Like
I think
they're
everyone's
back.
back.
Excellence. You just feel like the excellence that he has as a coach in the playoffs is going to trump everyone else's talent. It just feels like that sometimes. But I think at the end of the day, the X factor maybe for Belichick was his quarterback in those times. And I don't know that he has the same ceiling this season with that quarterback as an X factor. So I'm going to go with Buffalo because I think Buffalo's X factor is throughout the league known to be the quarterback. And he does bring some real weight when he's on the field.
This is also the origin story for Mac Jones. Like, Mac Jones is a rookie. Like, he can't just come in and start winning playoff games.
Hero's journey. He's got the hero's journey.
Yeah, he's got to taste that defeat before he becomes the Mac Jones.
This is the hero's journey, like in Star Wars. This is Luke Skywalker. This is his first matchup against Vader.
Right,
and Vader takes his fucking right hand.
Lose a hand?
God damn. Takes his hand as a trophy. He's wearing that shit around his neck when he saw him in Return of the Jedi. Like, hey, what's up, son?
Did you know that none of the actors even knew that fucking Darth Vader was the father?
Yeah,
like,
nobody knew that Darth Vader was
secret,
Luke's
like,
father until they filmed it.
Until the premiere. No,
until the premiere. They didn't tell him.
They had him say a different line. He was just like, no. And then they dubbed over. Only James Earl Jones knew because he said the line. But that was it. Like, I think Mark Hamill did know too. But
I watched that was the documentary that they did on Darth Vader where they talked about that. The guy who actually acted as Darth Vader under the suit, not James Earl Jones.
Yeah, David Morse, something like that.
Yeah. Oh man, he just passed away. I think last year or the year before, and it was.
Imagine that's your job. You play Chewie. You're just a tall ass dude.
But you know what, man? Look.
Hey, them checks still coming.
The guy who played Chewie,
they made money.
They have memorialized him from that role because he played it, for a very long time. The guy who played C-3PO, he played the entire C-3PO the entire time up until the last movie that just came out a couple years ago.
And that's the easiest.
And that was his last appearance as it.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy who played Darth Vader, he got fucking blacklisted by George Lucas. He was never invited to any of the Star Wars events.
Wow. Why?
It was tragic what they did to him. And they never said they were sorry. And they were wrong. And they never said they were sorry.
Just like
even
a
up
personal
to the point when
grudge.
he died.
He
Anyways,
called George Lucas fat. Was that what it was? And he was just like, "Fuck you."
I think he was mad because they changed his face. They changed who the actor was when they took the helmet off Vader
Oh
and Return
yeah,
of the
because they
Jedi.
put that old guy in there.
Yeah, they put another
wow.
guy.
Man,
in
I've
there.
been playing this motherfucker the whole time.
Right.
Y'all ain't gonna let
Yeah.
me be the face,
I'm out here walking down Hollywood Boulevard looking like a fucking bum.
right? Y'all don't even know. They
Little
don't
do
know
they
I'm
know.
Darth Vader. You seen that meme when the people are dancing?
They don't know.
They don't know I'm Darth Vader.
All right, next matchup we got.
Here it is.
Here we go,
The
baby.
Steelers at the Chiefs.
Super
Steelers.
Bowl bound.
At
Dude.
Chiefs are minus 675 in
Goodness
this matchup.
gracious.
They are heavily favored.
I think they were like favored by like 13.5 or something right
Heavily.
now.
to win this game. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Kansas City will be resting their starters by the start of the fourth quarter. Kansas City will likely dominate these Steelers in ways that we didn't know we didn't actually want them to dominate.
They're gonna violate them, in
And
new
it
ways.
may hurt some feelings along the way. There may be some animosity towards Kansas City by the time this game is over.
Yeah.
That's just how I
Patrick
see it.
Mahomes. They gonna
The
hate
only
him.
way we'll
Hate
feel
George
pissed
Mahomes.
is if Jackson Mahomes is doing a TikTok on Ben's grave.
Jackson Mahomes is going to be standing on the Steelers bench behind Ben Roethlisberger doing that fucking dance he does.
Quick, Jackson, stomp the terrible towel. It works.
But I think what do you think, Five?
I agree. I'm actually going to lay action on this one. I think Kansas City's favored by 13. I'm going to go ahead and take those points. I'm dropping some money on this one because I just think eventually Pittsburgh runs out of luck, man. Like they are the worst.
It's nothing but luck this season. Dead
Like
serious.
you cannot argue that this is not the worst. Now the one factor that they have is TJ Watt just fucking blowing up Patrick.
Yeah,
That's
even then, it's like they're going to double
Mahomes
team.
Don't
They're
like.
going to double team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're not going to
double
do the
team.
dumb shit other teams do and think they can have one guy blocking him the whole game. Nah.
Yeah.
And not especially not fourth round rookie.
Yeah, a
tackle.
rookie.
But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly early, and it's just But again,
I mean,
I
Baltimore
thought that the
contained TJ Watt relatively
would
well.
beat
He was only
Jacksonville.
limited to a sack.
I thought the Colts would beat Jacksonville. Okay.
I think we all did. We all did.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
But
pretty
again, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm laying out of all the games. This is the only one I like where I think I could maybe turn a profit off of it.
bold
Just
move,
taking
Cotton.
KC.
Ooh, who you got, Justin?
Casey.
He said that we don't even need reasons.
Yeah,
We
luck
just need
runs
to
out.
tell you that we know this is going to happen.
The luck
Tree,
runs out.
defend your honor,
Luck.
Tree.
Yeah.
Look,
Defend
this
your
team,
honor.
they literally should not be here. They're only here because of the 7th seed, the extra game where they beat a terrible Seattle team
Okay.
without Russell Wilson and ref ball in the Chicago Bears game. This is the worst Steelers team I've seen in roughly 15, 20 years. It is nothing but being bailed out by bullshit. Our offense is one of the worst. Our rush defense is the worst in decades. And we're going up against a team we got slaughtered by on Thanksgiving. It's just going to get ugly. But you know something? The bullshit is going to come wild. There's going to be there's going to be a random field goal block and some flags. And the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
Steelers are
Super
moving
Bowl.
on. They're moving on.
We're going to go pull the bullshit. Just watch.
Honestly, I thought they were going to.
Look, my brain says Chiefs are going to be like a million. My heart says I don't give a shit. The Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
Dude, he's done
That's
this
pretty
every
much all
week.
it is.
He's done this it's been 12 straight weeks. He's pulled this shit and they've done it every week.
I don't know. I don't even know how they're here.
They've literally just pulled that towel. It was
I don't know
stuffed
how
up their
they got
colon.
into the fucking playoffs.
It's because
Even with
Jacksonville
Jacksonville winning, I still kind of said to myself,
Something's gonna
how
happen to
did
get these guys
Pittsburgh
outta
get
here.
into the fucking playoffs?
I think we all are. Dude, it's like the football god said, it's like, you know what? I don't want to see Justin Herbert and his young, cocky ass in playoffs. I want 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger and his
This is what
withering
I'm
body
feeling.
in the playoffs. That's pretty much what they say.
Here's the vibe I'm feeling, though. I'm feeling Dan Marino vibes on Sunday.
I'll laugh hysterically if they get crushed or they win.
He is sent off the field in the most embarrassing way possible.
62-7.
It would be fitting for Ben. Very fitting for Ben.
All right, so we got the AFC.
I mean, they do have Travis Kelce, and they didn't have that last time.
Out. Let me go ahead and screenshot this so we can reference it at a later date.
Yep.
Now let's move over to the NFC. The NFC is going to be, honestly, the NFC is I feel like a much more competitive side in this playoff tournament because you've got some heavy hitters coming from every angle. And let's start off with probably maybe the easiest one to call out of all the games this on the NFC side. Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is minus 410 in this matchup. What do we think here, guys? Who do we think? I mean,
this one's easy.
Yeah,
Tampa,
I think it's easiest.
Is Tom Brady
Tampa
playing?
knows what to do. Put 8 in the box. Make Jalen Hurts throw, and see if he can beat you, which he won't. This is going to be an easy win. It's going to be an ugly win. It might be like 20-3 or something like that. I'm definitely feeling the under on it, but I think it's going to be an ass whipping. This is the easiest one to call out of all the games.
Philly, head up. This is the easiest one to call. Just if you're looking at these rosters and comparing talent, there's a distinct difference in talent between the Eagles and the Bucs. I think that there's distinctly different offenses and how they operate. And like you said, the problem with Philadelphia is when you put the game in the quarterback's hands, and the Buccaneers have a good enough defense to try and force that narrative and make the game about Jalen Hurts having to beat them. Now, do you want to underestimate Jalen Hurts and say he can't do it?
He's an NFL quarterback. You don't want to.
You don't want to underestimate him, but I think it's safe to say that nobody expects him to go out and throw for 4 touchdowns when he's if they're in a situation where they're one-dimensional through default. If they get down 10 points, 14 points, some teams tend to go into a panic mode once they get down 2 scores and they just begin to become one-dimensional.
Yeah, they're not really built like
that.
I
could see that happening.
No.
Huh?
They're not built to come back like that.
They're not built to come back from a 2-score deficit. They're just not. And I think that's where it becomes a problem for them. And that's where Tampa Bay will take full advantage and turn it into a passing match for a quarterback who has a problem throwing deep balls. Yeah. So I think it's fair to say, boop, Bucs moving up.
All you have to say about Philly, these are the teams they beat this year. Atlanta, Carolina, Detroit, Denver, New Orleans with Trevor Siemian, the Jets, the Washington twice, and the Giants. It's a paper soft schedule.
Yeah, so they're paper champs.
Pretty much. I mean, that's why they made it. They're probably getting destroyed. I mean, it's good for their rebuild because we expected them to have what 4 or 5 wins, something like that. But still,
yeah. Okay, paper champs it is. So we got the Bucs moving on there. Next matchup we got, and I think this one will be the best game of the weekend. 49ers at Dallas. The 90s rivalry revived.
I feel like a kid again.
Oh man, I grew up a Niners fan. The only football jersey I possessed as a kid growing up was a Steve Young jersey. Nice. Steve Young was my favorite and is to this day still my favorite NFL player of all time. And this definitely brings back the nostalgia. I did get to meet Steve Young. I met Steve Young I met him in Indianapolis when was I playing? I was not actually playing at this time, but let me see if I remember how this went down. I met him after the Colts-Bengals played in Indianapolis. I was getting ready for the draft or getting ready to I'm trying to remember how it went down.
Did you go full fanboy?
I wasn't a player. I know that. I don't remember exactly what date this was, but I got to shake his hand, say hi to him. It was my idol. That's my football player idol.
Right.
So washing this hand again.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was like because I'm left-handed. He's left-handed. I'm like, I'm never watching this ad again. I'm a lefty. We're lefties. We got to stick together. We're lefties. But Steve Young was prime San Francisco, the last great quarterback for San Francisco. And they're going up against the Cowboys in Jerry World. Cowboys are slightly favored in this. They're favored minus 165. And personally, I feel like I said before, San Francisco is probably out of the NFC. They're the most dangerous in the regard that they are a team that plays downhill football. They're not traditionally they don't lean on their spread formations as much as other teams in the NFC do. They will be playing downhill fast, and while the Cowboys have an exquisite defense, this is a team that's hot right now. This is a team that's shown they can put up points with anybody, and I feel like San Fran comes out of this one a winner. That's just me.
I'm hoping, I just hope that that's what it is because I can't stand every week that the Cowboys are in the playoffs. It's just
but you don't like Scooter saying
here
Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. You don't like
he's
that?
going to be chat.
That is annoying to hear.
Especially if Dak goes out and balls hard and throws for 4 touchdowns, you will never hear the end of it. You will never. That's why I think they're going to win because I don't deserve nice things. I think the Cowboys win. They've played well all year. They've had a great season. I think that the only thing, they might get all the way to the NFC Championship game, and the path is clear for them. All they got to do is get past this one, and then they got either the Cardinals or the fucking Rams, 2 fucking choking ass, beat up teams. Cowboys have a clear path. Unless San Francisco takes care of this problem,
there's a chance.
It's going to get worse.
There's always
a chance.
Never doubt the ability of Mike McCarthy to fuck up a key situation.
Yeah, that's true. Don't get me wrong. Don't get Mike.
Hey, nobody expected Green Bay to beat Dallas with Jared Cook doing the wonderful grab by the sidelines.
Yes, he did win a Super Bowl. McCarthy did.
Yeah, because of Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What you thinking, Justin? I know you're over there as the only Cowboys fan in the group. What's up? What you thinking?
I do agree with you that the downhill running, we're not the most stout team up front or through the middle. Even though we got a linebacker that'll probably be all pro, he's not a great run defender when you're running straight at him.
I love Micah Parsons though; he is a beast.
He's a monster. Yeah. I mean, chasing down plays, doing athletic shit, but hitting the motherfucker in the mouth, he's still a little light in the ass for that kind of football. I'm sure Shanahan will try to isolate him a little bit, see how bad he wants to hit people. But I think he'll be in good shape. Of course, I'm picking the Cowboys to win. Needless to say, just like Tree, I don't have a terrible towel. Or actually, I do have a Cowboys helmet here.
Really?
Yeah, my youth league team. We were the Cowboys, so I got my 3rd grade football helmet painted up just like
miniature.
Yeah. Well, I had a big ass head back then, so it might still fit. Yeah, I think Dak's going to do well. We'll protect. I mean, O-line's allegedly healthy, finally. Hopefully we can do enough to slow Nick Bosa down. I mean, we got 2 pretty – I mean, Lord, please keep Tyron Smith healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
Baby Jesus.
Tyron Smith wears a fucking knee brace on his elbow.
Oprah Winfrey, Tom Cruise, all y'all, please.
I feel like that dude
Are
is
you Scientologist?
That dude is literally a Mechazord, but everything breaks, a small part breaks down on him every other week. So you got to bring him back in the shop for repairs.
Yeah,
I don't think he's even human.
It's
joints. It's just like a robot. It's like, oh no, there goes my exterior. I need to get this repaired.
It's like Terminator.
Pretty much, except he blocks.
Yes.
Who's the receiver that tore his Galloway?
Michael
Gallup.
Cedric Wilson came in and acquitted himself quite nicely.
Wilson's pretty good.
We still have 3 really good receivers.
Yeah,
at
Cooper
times.
and Lamb.
At times.
Cooper and Lamb
Amari
should be able
Cooper
to get
is
the
key.
ball
Amari
done.
Cooper is going to be key for them boys.
But
They're gonna
it's
need
a home
they're
game,
gonna
so
need to
Amari
feed
Cooper will
him.
probably play well. On the road, he's very up and down. But at Jerry World, he tends to play pretty good.
How do you think Blake Jarwin's going to fare?
Oh, that's right.
Well, Jarwin or Schultz, or one of your tight
Dalton
ends.
Schultz,
I mean, they
but
do
two
have
tight ends.
Al-Shaair and Fred Warner, who I think are solid middle linebackers, but I don't know how you think they're going to fare against San Fran D.
I think having Jarwin back, I think he was back last week actually, but Dalton Schultz has had a hell of a year. Not the greatest inline blocker in the world, but in the pass game, proven to be pretty good safety net for Dak. And if they're getting after the quarterback, which they have a tendency to do, I think Eric Armstead and Bosa together are pretty formidable. They could cause some issues. So you're going to need the ability to get the ball out of your hands pretty quick at times. Whether you're swinging it out to Pollard out of the backfield or one of the tight ends doing some stuff in the middle. I like our chances. I like our chances.
I think
and this is the heart talking.
The smart thing would be to give the fucking ball to Pollard more than you give it to Zeke, because Zeke has not been 100%, and Pollard has just been running so much harder, so much quicker through the tackles. Like, just give the ball to Pollard. It's time. Like, if you want to win, he's going to have the majority of the carries. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck how much you pay Zeke. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm like, hey there, Mike McCarthy, you need to get me a win, okay? We ain't have a win here since I built this fucking stadium. You better fucking give me that shit.
I mean, lately,
I'll tell you what.
He's looking for a back to run up.
Yeah, I think that is where that's a key to the game that a lot of people are not really paying attention to. The running game of the Cowboys has to factor in to this game. It has to be a factor if they want to win, because we know the Niners running game is going to be a factor. Mm-hmm. And that is something that a lot of teams, like I keep saying, a lot of teams are going to find out that if they run into these teams that like to run the ball and control the clock, it is going to spell big problems for them. Yeah, because their offenses are going to be on the field seldom, and when they're on the field, they're going to be going up against a fully rested defense that's not going to have to chase them halfway through the drive. Yeah, and I think San Francisco at the beginning.
I think they have an interior line advantage. San Francisco does too. So they're probably going to be doing a lot of gut runs. They're going to be doing a lot of trickery too with Deebo Samuel, who I think is San Francisco.
Deebo Samuel is going to be the X factor for the Niners.
And George Kittle
will be a great game.
Oh yeah, our interior is not the strongest. I mean, obviously Zach Martin's a fucking beast, but the center and other guard have had issues. I think the most penalized offensive line in football this year.
One of the most penalized teams, if I remember correctly.
You're probably right there too. And undisciplined football, bites you in the ass.
They do.
Come playoff time.
And then there's penalties. I think the Cowboys are the most penalized team.
Maybe 10 a game, 7.
Yeah,
they
get. I know last year they were the most penalized team in the NFL.
It's been a lot.
So, with all that being said, I'm going with these Niners. I think the Niners. I think we kind of all hope, except for Justin, we kind of all hope the Niners get this one pulled out. Fuck Cowboys. Now, next up, and our last matchup and before we go on to this last matchup, appreciate everybody being in here on the live stream. Make sure you smack that like button if you haven't already done so. And if this is your first time in Lineman Life Live, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We do appreciate it. We're going to get into this final matchup for the Wildcard weekend coming up here in the NFL playoffs. This one is just a different kind of matchup because it's almost one of two completely different philosophies. I mean, and almost from the performances of both these teams, they're very polarized in how in their performances throughout the season. You have the Arizona Cardinals at the LA Rams. Now, one could look at this and think, oh, the Rams. But the Rams have been a team that has shown a bit of streakiness in the last half of the season themselves. But even worse than that, the Cardinals damn near didn't make the playoffs. They were
4-6 in their last
bad
10.
At one point.
Yeah, they were trying to give it away.
They were trying to not make the playoffs. This was the team that got to 10 wins before anybody by weeks. and
Sputtered.
have done shit since.
They
So-
showing up to the playoffs like at the end of the night at Vegas. Like they just fucking raggedy as shit. Just fucking struggling. They've taken too many shots of Jaeger. Like they just showing up trying to fuck, and they don't. They're
Trying to hit something and get the fucking hell on. They're gonna pass out in the shower.
Dude, dude, at that rate, you're probably gonna be fucking in, like a hot pocket.
Right,
Yeah.
they don't wake up in a brothel with their
Shooting my
clothes
shot
on.
at shooting their shot at
I was like,
everything.
no wonder why I'm burning.
Right.
The full Drake.
Right.
Now, LA, the Rams come into this themselves with a little bit of some issues that they've been dealing with on the offensive side. We've seen some shakiness from Matthew Stafford. We've seen, their running game just kind of sputter along. They haven't really had much in way of the kind of over the top production that we had seen earlier when Matthew Stafford started his campaign with the Rams. But even at that, they have shown enough consistency to still be considered a threat, while we have watched the Cardinals like we don't even know what kind of team they are anymore. I don't know what their strengths are on offense anymore. They just don't look like a team that actually has a particular strength at all. So it's kind of like a weird spot that they're in, because you almost have to redefine yourself in the matter of a week, getting ready for the playoffs after the end of the season.
Playoffs.
So what do we think? How do we think this one plays out? Honestly, I see the Rams. I see this game being close for 3 quarters and then the Rams going on for a 2 to 3 score win.
I see it exactly the same way. I see the Rams just kind of breaking through at first. The familiarity is going to be a thing, but we've been waiting for Von Miller and Aaron Donald to show up, and I think this is the game where they show up, where they just start wreaking havoc. Kyler Murray's little ass is going to be running all over the place. He's going to be like, "What the fuck? Get away from me!" And
he's had 5 sacks in the last 4 games. Von Miller.
Yeah, so I think it's time. I think the Rams. I think Stafford finally wins his first playoff game, which is crazy, right?
In year 15.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
it's crazy. So, I think they get it done.
This is what they brought all those big names here for.
Yeah,
This moment.
This is their all-in year. If they lose, I don't know what they're gonna do.
You got to blow the fucking thing up, I guess.
I don't know if you're gonna blow it up.
I would go that
They're
far.
not going to blow it up, but they're not
Stafford.
going to be able to bring in nobody else.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to lose more talent like they did last year on defense.
This is the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, the window is right now.
It's last chance year for Green Bay, maybe Tampa Bay, Rams, and maybe another team or two in the AFC. But
well, we know Pittsburgh.
oh, don't worry. They're going to pretend. No. What's going to happen is this is probably worst case scenario. They're going to pretend they can run the table, and they'll bring in some veteran quarterback like a Matt Ryan or a Jimmy Jesus or a Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they'll think they can go back and fluke their way to another playoff berth. I know exactly what's going to happen.
I think them picking Matt Ryan would actually be a pretty good deal for Pittsburgh.
I mean, it depends.
It'd be a substantial upgrade from Big Ben. It would still be a substantial
How
upgrade.
much? I like Matt Ryan. How much does he have left in the tank, though? That's the only question.
The dude was still a top 10 passer this year. That means you still got something in the tank.
They'll probably buy you 4 or 5 more years.
Maybe like 2.
Yeah, 2 maybe.
Really 2.
That's my guess.
The last 3 would be agonizing at the very least.
Yeah, you mean like Big Ben years? This year
Yeah,
just
it'd
been
be like
agony.
Big
It's like,
Ben,
oh
like-
God, just go away.
Just die already.
I was just
die.
hoping Mason Rudolph would do well. It's like, nope. And everyone hates him. It's like, oh God.
He'll be at least able to throw the ball 20 yards.
Here.
Hey, Ben
I think
throws
we're all
like
on the
20
same
yards
page
like
here that-
2 times a game. And it's like
yeah.
the same like end route. That's just like down the sideline. Just like, here, Chase, go get it. And it's just like, pretty much they have to make like a great play to catch it.
Yeah, it's in the ball in the air for about 7 seconds to go 20 yards.
It's one of the most glorious arm punts you'll ever see.
Big Ben used to have one of those big downfield arms too.
Oh yeah,
boy.
he used to have a big arm. He used to scramble. He used to make plays happen.
He used to break tackles like a motherfucker.
He was a fullback as a
Get off
quarterback.
me.
With Josh Allen before Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You used to see cats literally fall off of Ben Roethlisberger trying to sack him. And they had clear shots and they would fall off of
Yeah,
him.
nowadays it's just like make sure you get it out in like less than a second and a half because his line sucks and he's gonna die. Like one big sack by a guy like like Frank Clark or Melvin Ingram, I feel like he's just gonna vanish. Like he'll move into dust like Thanos snapped his fingers. And it's just like, oh no, there goes my hand. Oh well,
I think it could be a non-contact thing where he just throws the ball and his arm falls off. Like it just fucking.
I can see that.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
It's like that's a fumble. No, wait, that's his hand.
Oh, there goes Ben. Oh no!
Oh man,
It'll be like one of those rifle things where it's just like his whole body just like it's just like he rolls off to the sideline, just like oh shit.
You know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I think we all are on the same page here in saying that we were not surprised to see LA take this win.
Yeah.
Cardinals I don't have faith in what their identity is after the last month of horrid football from them, which started with losing to the Detroit Lions. And it just continued to snowball from there. So I think that's it for us. We got the divisional after this, but we have set our predictions for the NFL Wildcard weekend. So that is going to do it for us on Lineman Life Live. We do appreciate everyone for being here, checking out our live stream. Make sure you hit that like button. As always, we are every Wednesday throughout the season, throughout the playoffs. We are going to come back next week and talk about the divisional round. You're Nathan Tree. What you got? You just dropped Sports Ball.
I got Haters Guide to the Playoffs probably Thursday, Friday. So I'll probably start
Haters
working on
Guide
that
to the Playoffs. That one's a gem, folks. That one's always a gem.
That's one of my biggest performing vids.
5 points. What's good? I just saw your FedEx Stadium video the other day. That shit was hilarious.
That was a good vid.
Yeah, that one. You ever get a video idea and it just like you sit down and you can write the whole thing? Like you don't even need to you can do minimal research and
you don't even need research. You already know where to go.
I know
you've marinated in that shit.
Yeah, I know exactly how this video is going to look. That was easy. I'm doing why are the Jacksonville Jaguars so bad? So I'm gonna need you, Uche. We're gonna have to get up.
Let me know, baby. I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
How much time you got?
Yeah.
How much time you got, buddy?
I'm cleaning up the script tomorrow. I'll send you over what I need from you. Like you could give me probably 30 minutes of footage. I'll cut it down to like a minute, but still, you have to be on that video. So you know how
most stuff. Big Justin. It's good, man. You're gonna be out there, ain't you? You're gonna be out there for the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Either, whatever venue they choose, I already got a ticket. So
nice.
Okay.
Nice. To be in the city, not to the game. I'm gonna be outside with like $2,000 cash, trying to finagle my way into the stadium.
I don't even think that'll get you in. I don't think so.
I mean,
maybe in Dallas it will, not in LA.
Ticket.
Yeah.
To buy your way in the door, Ticketmaster or some shit like that, $10,000. So I'm gonna go out there with like 25 cash, 2,500, not 1,000.
2,500. Yeah.
25,000. It's like make it rain, baby.
Would they even take paper tickets now? Like, is it all electronic? Like, because you could drop 2,500 and it could be just a bogus ticket. Like, you could be around for that motherfucker.
And then I'll be on the news beating up some motherfucker.
Yeah.
Another man died. The fucking front windows of the stadium. See this
Justin Blaylock was arrested for killing a scalper for giving him a fake $2,500 ticket. He was quoted saying,
"Took 6 off-duty officers to subdue Blaylock." He got my money.
Oh, we get it. You can't kill the guy. Sorry.
They deserve it.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for us here on Lineman Life Live. We will see you guys next week. We hope everyone has a wonderful hump day, and we will catch y'all after Wildcard weekend. So everyone be good, stay safe, and we will see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace.